what time is it?
It is Chomp time, Pops.
It is Chomp time, and we're on episode number 23. My goodness, time just flies.
It does.
Well, as you can see, we're starting out a little different today. Mike decided, hey, why don't you host the show for once? I said, okay, let me take it on. So, today, I'm going to be your host. God help us all. We're going to have 3 segments. First segment is the recap of the Texas-Florida football game. We did play Saturday, didn't we?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. The second is recruiting. This is Mike's favorite topic.
Yes.
It is the lifeblood of any college program.
Yes.
And number
100%.
three, we're going to talk about these 12 playoff teams. And the interesting thing about that is the first poll came out last week, and already we got 2 upsets. So things are going to go like this for the next few weeks. So let's start with the Texas-Florida game. Mike, you want to lead us off here on what your observations were?
I will lead us off. I will start by saying that, well, hello, everybody. I am glad that DJ did not play. I thought it was going to be a mistake if he played. Just a crazy atmosphere in Texas. Really good team. Number 1 overall defense. Their offense is pretty good as well. We were not going to win this game no matter which way you sliced it. DJ was not 100%. I think that the vote of confidence letter post by Strickland that went to social media was made a couple days before the game when they realized they weren't going to play DJ, and they also realized we were going to get obliterated. So we lost 49-17, I believe. Could have been much worse than that. I was just happy to see a score, to be honest. But at halftime, it was 35-0. And once again, we were on our 3rd string quarterback. We were on our 3rd and 4th string running backs, our 3rd and 4th string wide receivers. We had 3 or 4 DBs out. So I get it. We were depleted, undermanned. But once again, we looked listless to start off the game.
Yeah. I think we should stop these 12 o'clock games because we look like we're half asleep. There was no energy anywhere on the field, on the sidelines before the game. Nothing. 0. And then we wake up at the halftime and all that good stuff. Let me go through a couple of stats.
Sure.
You know, that 35-0 really could have been 49 or 56-0 because the Texas quarterback, who we see in the Dr. Pepper commercials, this guy overthrew 3 wide open receivers for touchdowns. So if that's any...
And he still threw 4 touchdown passes in the first half.
Yes, he did. Yeah. So Warner was 12 for 25, 132 yards. What we both said on the last podcast, listen, the only way to even keep close to this team is run the ball more, and run the ball even more than that. So Jackson, terrific game, 19 carries, 116 yards, 6.1 per carry. Baugh, 19 carries, 88 yards, 4.6. We gained 197 yards rushing, had 132 passing for a total of 329. It could have been a lot worse. We had 3 turnovers. Warner threw 2 interceptions, and then Jackson fumbled 1, and we lost that. Texas had 562 total yards, 352 yards passing. Could have had 500, and 210 on rushing. You know, the only thing that kind of stands out for us is we played better in the second half. For part of the second half, they did have the regulars in there. And then they started filtering the guys out and saving them. And then we got to see Arch Manning again and all that good stuff. But, you know, our passing game, I understand this guy's never thrown a pass basically in the NCAA because, you know, other than last week. I mean, the poor kid, his first 2 opponents are Georgia and Texas. So I wouldn't want that on anybody. but our leading receiver was DK. He had 5 passes for 95 yards. And
Uh-huh.
then Jackson, out of the backfield, caught 1 pass for 13 yards. Those are the only guys in double figures in
Well,
yards.
yeah, I want to mention a couple things. Number one, the snowflakes. You snowflakes in the Gator groups on Facebook. Screw off. Oh, we won the second half. We had 330 yards against the number one defense.
Here's your participation trophy.
Yeah, have some more liquor. Listen, they were up 35 to nothing at halftime. It looked obvious to me in the second half that Sarkisian called off the dogs. He took his foot off the gas.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he threw in his fourth stringers, but whether he had pity on us or not, they didn't. They were not going full throttle like they were in the first half.
No.
Now, I said, let's do something different. Let's try the Wildcat. Why not run the Wildcat 10 times in a row?
One time.
I think we ran it twice.
Oh, I missed
And
the second
both
one.
times, I'm fairly certain that both times got at least 5 yards. And you just said our running backs got 6.1 yards per carry and 4.6 yards per carry. Yes, some of that was in the second half. But in the first half, they were getting 5 yards a carry.
They were.
And the one time he starts doing passes and play actions, the one game you are trying to not be in tempo, kill the clock, take up all the play clock, shorten the game. He doesn't do it.
2 observations. First, we did very little movement at the line of scrimmage. We weren't going and moving around and doing sets and all that like we normally do. I mean, my God, we have to get the seconds down before tight ends were moving over to different sides and receivers were moving over. We did very little of that, and I think that was because of Warner. The second thing is, you're down 35-0. Okay? This kid
Yeah.
played against Georgia last week. We
Yeah.
see what he can do. Okay? Yeah. At this point, at 35-0, can we play Millen? Can we see what the hell you brought him in for in the first place? Yeah. This kid played a full year at Washington State, was their starting quarterback. Now, I saw his numbers. They're not terrible, but I mean, I don't understand how this guy didn't even get a look-see in the second half when we're getting annihilated. I mean, what difference does it make at this point? Let's see, and I don't want to hear the comment from the snowflakes, well, we got to get this guy ready. For what? He's not doing anything. This kid's not doing anything. I think he's a good kid from all I read. But when I saw close-ups of this guy on the bench, when the defense was on the field, this guy's scared to death, it looks like. He looked like there's no way he wants to go back out there. I mean, come on, coach.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Yeah, after the first half, you could see that Warner was not playing well. The moment was too big. He didn't have a lot of good guys around him. Whatever you want to make the excuse for. I thought there might be a chance that Millen gets the second half.
Yeah.
So we can see who we got with Millen, maybe for the rest of the season, maybe moving forward. I don't know. I think scholarships are renewable every year. But so they bring Warner out again. All right, whatever. And then his first pass is tipped again and intercepted. It looked like it would have been intercepted if it wasn't.
Oh, yeah, it was going to be intercepted.
So at that point, I'm like, he can't play much worse.
No.
So if you're not putting Millen in now just to see what you have in a huge venue against, it looks like they're still with their starters or second string on the road, then why is he even in uniform? Why did he even make the trip? That's a wasted roster spot if you're not going to at least see what he's got now.
Well, I think that after the game, and like I said, I coined the phrase correctly. Well, at least it's at noon. And the phrase today would be, at least he was consistent. Okay?
Yeah.
Nothing's changed with this guy. But I watched some of the LSU game, and I watched some of the Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
We're not beating either one of those two teams. I'm
But how
sorry.
about this, Pops? If there's one time this entire year that you want to do your stupid, alternate series or two series than one series, if there's
Perfect.
one game, this
Perfect.
is it.
Yes.
This is it. We're not winning this game, and
Right.
we don't know what either one of these guys has.
Right.
Let's alter it. Like if there's one game, I don't like that method at all. But if there was one time, this was it. I, I
You know
saw
what?
nothing. I saw nothing different. I
No.
did see a bunch of creativity on Texas's offense in the first half with little reverses, end arounds.
So when you do reverse, you can actually take the ball and go around end?
We only fake that, Pops. We're not, I'm not sure it's allowed for us to hand the ball off to the fastest guy going around the corner. We just fake that. So,
All right, listen, we could beat this thing to death.
yeah.
Uh, Texas is one of the top three teams in the country, no question about it. They're very very good on offense, defense, and
Yeah.
obviously special teams. Their number one defense, number one ranking, I think is very good. I was concerned when we missed that first field goal. I'm thinking to myself, and then of course, usually your buddy announcer. What the hell's the guy's name?
Tessitore.
Yeah, Testator. Usually towards the end of the third quarter, they start talking about, well, Florida's got if we hadn't scored yet, Florida has the ongoing record of scoring every game since 1988. Is it
Yeah.
88 or 88?
88. Yeah.
Oh, no, we're going to show that before the guy kicks the field goal in the first quarter. Okay?
Yeah.
And sure enough, the guy misses a field goal. And all I'm thinking of is, oh, my God.
Well, to end off this, it's your show, but
Yeah.
I would like to say our guys after the first quarter did play pretty hard,
Yeah.
and the offensive line must have played really well because there were holes open all the time, and there's no way that their defense was respecting Warner all that much. So there
No.
was probably 7, 8 guys in the box all the time, and we still, got a
I
lot of.
looked at that same thing. You're right. They were playing 8 guys in a box, usually on third down, because
So kudos to.
we don't have any receivers. I guess Mizell was taking the day off because they didn't throw the ball to him but once. I mean, I
Well,
don't understand this. This kid's it's got talent, but let's end it there. Let's go to number two, segment number two.
yeah, yeah,
The lifeblood of any football program, as you always tell me, is recruiting.
yeah.
So why don't you lead us off in the recruiting?
Yeah, so I did some homework that you asked me to do. Reluctantly, I'm not a big fan of homework, but I did it, and I did it for you, America. So the the 2025 recruiting rankings currently, according to Rivals, are as follows: early signing day, where most guys sign, is in December, so we're about a month away. Number one, Ohio State. Number two, Bama. Number three, Georgia. LSU, Auburn, Texas is number six. So 5 out of the first 6 are SEC teams. And then I'll just do SEC the rest of the way. Oklahoma 8, A&M 10, Tennessee is ranked 11, Ole Miss is 16, Kentucky 18. At 22 is Missouri, 25 South Carolina, 27 Arkansas, 43 Mississippi State. At 59 is Florida currently. And then the only team below us in all the SEC with just a month left till early signing day is Vandy at 90.
And they're having a hell of a year.
Yeah. Now, I will say that we only have 10 guys committed. And 7 of them are 4 stars and 3 are 3 stars. So to compare with Arkansas, for instance, Arkansas is currently ranked number 27. They have 22 guys committed. That's probably their max. They might get one more guy, but probably not. Of their 22 guys committed, they have 23 stars and they have 2 4 stars.
Wow.
And that puts them at number 27.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
more than likely, we're going to get 10 more guys. Hopefully, 5 of those are 4 stars, which would put us in the range of 25 to 30 is where I predict we'll end up for 2025 early signing day high school recruits,
Yeah.
which I'm still not happy with because
No.
that still puts us at 13th out of 16th SEC teams
Yeah.
and way behind the rankings of the Bamas and Georgias and LSUs and Auburns and Texases and Oklahomas.
Yeah.
So, and that's assuming that we do get 10 more guys, and 5 of those guys are 4 stars. So, ugh, we're in a tough spot.
Well,
We're in a tough spot.
I did what you did. I kind of did the same kind of thing. I went and looked at where we're at opposed to everybody else. And again,
Yeah.
we only have 10 guys.
Yep.
I think the early recruiting is what, halfway through December, I think, or the first week of December, something like
Yeah.
that. The
Yeah.
early recruiting. I think the reason why, in my opinion, that Strickland gave a vote of confidence um, it to Billy is because he wants to keep what he's got coming in and wants to keep hopefully what we got. Now, that being said, we need a hell of a lot more. But part of our problem is, if you look at the start of the season, we're down 6 defensive backs. Okay, we're down 3 running backs. We're down a starting quarterback and a half a quarterback because he looks like he might come back for the
Mhm.
LSU game. Ole Miss, depending on how he feels. We got guys, wide receivers. We've lost a lot of wide receivers. We've lost a lot of players. Okay, so
Yeah.
hopefully these guys will get healthy, and then maybe we could pick up some 10 guys, maybe go into the portal and pick up some guys. Because as I told somebody the other day, how's your schedule look for next year? It's the same schedule. It's the same schedule. Uh, we're just switching homes. So if we played them at home, then they come to our place. If we played away, they come to our. It's like, come on, it's the same thing. We go to Miami.
Yeah, I mean, well, Strickland gave that vote of confidence, made the post online, and everyone's like, see, he's going to stay. And then DJ's father and DJ himself posted like smiley faces and gators, like
Yeah.
they're happy that Billy is staying. I'm not convinced yet. And at the end of the season, there's going to be 30 at least enormous big time programs throwing millions of dollars at DJ and his family, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he's a Gator through and through. I am hoping that he
Well,
stays with us, but it,
there's no
it almost
there's
all
no
comes down to
guarantee.
DJ.
There's no guarantees. And obviously, you've always mentioned to me these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah,
Not 16, 17, 18 years old. And they want to pick a school based on color. They want to pick a school based on what the locker room looks like. I mean, how the field looks. I mean, it's like ridiculous. The one thing that can be assured of is since DJ, committed in as a junior, he's never wavered. He never wavered the entire time. His senior year never wavered, and he became a Gator. Now, he didn't think he was going to start this year, obviously, because we already had a starter. That was good.
right.
Everybody was happy with that. He knew he was going to get some playing time. He just didn't know he was going to get starting playing time when Mertz went down, and then obviously he goes down. It looks like it's not as bad. He's going to come back, so that's in our favor.
It looks like he is. One final thing I want to say in recruiting is there is something new with rivals, and they call it the comprehensive class. So they combine a school's class from the incoming signees from high school and
Yeah,
their transfer, since the transfer portal has become such a big deal and it's immediate. In 2023, according to rivals, UF had the 16th ranked
combined.
comprehensive class.
Yeah.
So combined. And in 2024, UF had the 13th ranked comprehensive class. Not horrible.
No.
Okay. Is he a great recruiter? No. Is he a good recruiter? It appears so, especially given the fact that he was under 500 and his teams were struggling at the end of his first 2 years.
Yes.
But even with that, Pops, in 2023, 16th overall class, there's still 9 SEC teams ahead of him. In 2024, at 13th, there's still 7 SEC teams ahead of him. And keep in mind, he has missed as much as he's hit with our transfers. He has missed as much as he has hit. He
Yes.
did hit on a couple of receivers. He
Yeah.
missed on a few defensive players that didn't even make it out till week 2. It comes down to DJ, I think. I think it comes down to DJ. We could definitely lose our next 2 games, and the Florida State game will probably be a toss-up.
How about speaking of guys that he hit on coming in? How about Ricky Pearsall yesterday? First NFL touchdown, made a really crucial catch at the end of the
Yeah,
game so they could win that game. I like how he's playing.
he's
He's a good guy.
he's yes. DJ or Napier's had some hits,
Yeah.
and if DJ stays, if LJ stays, if Mizell stays, if Baugh and Jackson, the running back, stay, then we've got a base.
We
We
got a
obviously
nucleus. Yeah, yeah,
we got
yeah.
the nucleus. That's a lot of ifs, though.
I
It's going to be a
know.
lot of temptations from other places. So we
Well,
will see what happens. Right now, it appears that we are sticking with Billy, partly because we don't have a president yet, but also partly because DJ and the nucleus appears to love him and they're staying.
there you go. Okay, let's go to segment number 3.
Sure.
Football polls the top 12 teams. This is kind
Sure.
of interesting because the top 12 teams that came out with the first ranking for the new playoff system,
Yeah.
a couple of them got knocked off this last week, and
Already.
I know the new rankings, the new placements of these 12 teams will come out tomorrow,
Uh-huh.
but I do have a conglomeration of what things look like right now.
Sure.
In the number 6 spot is Indiana. The
All right.
Hoosiers, 10-0. They would play Alabama at number 8.
Hey, Pops,
Uh,
real quick before you go on. I
yeah,
forgot to mention this. Very surprising. IU for 2025 ranking,
yeah.
class ranking, is 48th, and they've already got 20 guys committed.
Wow,
17 of them are 3 stars, and
wow.
none of them are 5 stars. It's not translating yet. But go ahead. They're number
Okay.
6.
Something else about Indiana, real quick. There's been 6 teams. I think there's 6 teams that have a new coach has taken over, and
Yeah.
they started 10-0. There's
Okay.
6 teams in the history of college, and I'm forgetting the one. I'm sorry, I forgot the one. But Indiana obviously is one. 4 of the 6 are Ohio State
Ah,
coaches. 4 of the 6.
they've just been
And I
that
forgot who the other one was, but just a
that
little head.
Ohio
Okay.
State program. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the second game would be number 2 Ohio State against number 13 Boise State.
Okay.
And then the other game would be number 5 Penn State against Georgia, number 9. And again, this is based on the fact that these teams already lost. Some of these teams lost this weekend. And then number
Yeah.
4 would be Tennessee, and number 11 Ole Miss.
Well,
So,
why don't you? Well, those are all speculatory.
well,
What do
that's
you think's gonna
based
happen?
on the fact of because the ones that we had from last week doesn't matter
Right.
because they're already screwed up. But right now, the 4 that are going to get the buys at this point right now
Uh
are
huh.
Oregon, Texas, BYU, and Miami. Now that could change. Okay.
100% it's gonna change.
Colorado is making a move against BYU. Okay, so that'll be interesting. Texas. Uh, you know, it'll be interesting to see how that ends up in the SEC.
Of
Oregon.
course.
The good thing about Indiana. This is interesting about Indiana. Now they play Ohio State at Ohio State this weekend.
Yeah.
I would venture to bet that Ohio State will beat Indiana. So the
Yes.
last game of the season for Indiana is Purdue, their traditional open
Yes.
bucket, whatever the hell they call that thing.
Yes.
So they could finish 11-1 and not play in the Big Ten title. It would be Oregon and Ohio State again. So that's good for Indiana because that would kind of guarantee them a spot in the 12 teams.
Yes. I think so. I have predictions for the championship games.
Go ahead.
So I think the ACC championship game is going to be SMU versus Clemson. I have Clemson winning that. Clemson's getting a bye.
Yeah.
I have the Big 12 championship game being BYU versus Colorado. And I have Colorado and Primetime and all his studs winning that game, and they're getting a bye. Then I have the Big Ten title game. You mentioned it. I have Ohio State in Oregon, a rematch. I think Ohio State wins that game. Then the SEC, I have Texas playing Ole Miss in the title game, and I have Ole Miss winning that game. I think Lane Kiffin took a
Wow.
major positive
Wow.
turn with that drubbing of Georgia.
Yeah.
All the talk, he doesn't win big games. He just won a major game, and that puts him. The last two games they play, I forget who it was, but they're not going to lose those two games. So more than likely, they're going to be in the SEC title game. Probably against Texas, maybe against somebody else. I think they're going to win that game.
I don't
So,
disagree, except for one. You have Miami not anywhere in sight. Then
well, I
you
have,
got Miami not beating Clemson. I thought they already
yeah,
played them and won.
yeah, I don't know why Miami lost to Georgia Tech, and I
Yeah.
think SMU is undefeated. And Clemson, I think, has the tiebreaker over Miami,
No, I think
which is
Miami beat Clemson. I
did they?
believe. I think so.
I don't know. Being that we're two hosts of a podcast, college football podcast, we're talking about the playoffs. That's probably something
Playoffs.
we should have known. Because yeah, I don't have Miami in my 12 playoff teams, and they're more than likely going to be in because
Yeah,
they're
they're with Clemson. They're in the ACC.
all right. Well, I'll have to look that up. Maybe I'll look it up on post. Maybe I won't. I'm sticking by my picks. I did a lot of homework last night. I looked at tiebreakers. I don't know why you're doubting me. I have
Because
been
you
really,
forgot about Miami.
I have been trending up. I have Miami out. I don't know
All right.
what's going to
All
happen.
right, now tell you something. We've gone through this. Give me your top two Heisman Trophy candidates.
I'm going to say it's probably the running back from Boise State,
Yes.
Jonty or Genty,
Yeah.
and Travis Hunter.
Yes.
I think it's those two. Shador Sanders, depending on
No. No.
how, if they blow out the next two teams.
No.
And is the Heisman voting after the title games of the conference? I don't think it is.
Uh,
Again, something I should know.
it is. It is. Yes. It
It's
is
usually
after.
the first
It's
first
after the.
Sunday of December.
It's after the title games.
It is.
Yes.
All right. I still say it's going to be either the Boise State running back if he continues on this ridiculous pace, and the fact that they're playing really well. Are they undefeated right now?
Who?
Boise State.
No. I don't believe. No, I don't think they are. I think they have one loss.
All right.
Well,
We have lost.
one
I've
one
lost
thing one thing
credibility
is
with
for one thing
myself.
is for sure. In the Heisman race, it's not going to be a quarterback this year. Thank God. Get rid of the quarterback.
Probably not. Probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was episode 23.
What was the title of this? Did you give it a
Well,
title?
at least he's consistent.
At least he's consistent.
Yeah. Billy
Are you
Boy.
talking? Is Billy Boy? Meaning he's consistently vanilla?
Same exact thing he does every game. He didn't change in this game.
No. Props to our players, especially our offensive line, our running
Yeah.
backs. They had an outstanding game.
Yeah, they did. Unfortunately, we were playing against.
Maybe
one of the
we
best
should do a
teams.
little bit more research before we start pontificating about what's going to happen.
Well, it'll be
We don't
interesting
even
when
know
you
the
go
team.
back to see who was right and who was wrong. But we'll see. Anyway, this is Pop.
So that's it. So that's it. No ripping. You don't have anything for me. Nothing. Not a random question.
How was your weekend?
It was fine. All right, go ahead. Finish it off. What do you got? What do I say? You say.
This
What
is
do I
Pop.
usually say?
This is Mike. Come on, Gators.
up and go.